Hey guys, Audra here with Flawless Crested Geckos, and today we are going to dive into a topic that hasn't really been talked about very much in the community. So come on in, stay around and watch, and let's find out what that topic is. So as I was saying, we've got a topic that's not too often talked about, and today we are going to dive into crested gecko females and the conversation around whether they can lay eggs, well into their senior years, or whether you need to retire them. It's well known that a lot of people, they feel that crested geckos, like just any other animal, has sort of a limit on how long you can breed them for. Now, crested geckos are not like us humans. They're not like dogs. They're not like those animals that their reproductive systems only last for so long. Like, for instance, rats, you actually do shorten their lifespan. When you breed them, they're not as healthy as when you wouldn't breed them, correct? So people tend to assume that this is the same way that crested geckos work, but it's not. Crested geckos, genetically, they're set up, biologically, they're set up to eat and breed. And they can, technically, for their life expectancy, they are able to produce eggs, carry them, and be healthy while doing that. That being said, we don't really do that here at Flawless. A lot of our females that we have here, they aren't bred every single year. We typically will take a female, and if she is specific to a certain program, obviously we have all these different programs. We have our high whites, we have our reds, we have our dowels, we have, just all kinds of things, our xanthics, you name it, we probably have it. And we take that female and we put her into a male's breeding group, basically. Now, don't confuse that with groups that are breeding. We do not breed in groups. We breed separately, meaning if a male has 3 females, he will breed with that one particular female in her enclosure by herself, just her and him. And then when the cycle comes around, we do that, where we change every week during breeding season until our females are laying fertile eggs. So that being said, a female that is just in that particular male's group is what I'm actually speaking on. If you have this female and you have certain plans for the female, say it's a white spot female and you're pairing it with a high white male, and your objective is obviously to get more contrast in your high whites. Maybe your dark light contrast. You want heavy high white sidewall patterns, and maybe this female has the contrast that you're looking for. So the idea is that you breed her with said male and you get her offspring. You obviously want to let them progress to adulthood so you can decide what you're going to hold back and what you're actually going to let go. And then as you've bred her, say she's on year 2 or 3, and you see her offspring are absolutely phenomenal and they are better than she is, which was your objective. You always want to up your offspring value, you want your offspring to be better structure-wise, color-wise, or you want them to create what you have in mind for that pairing, taking the best of both worlds out of your male and your female. So that offspring is there. They've grown up. They're 2-3 years old, and they're ready to breed. So you say, okay, I don't need any more of this specific pairing, but I also don't want to sell this female because she's a really nice female. She's a great egg producer. Now I want maybe to go in a different trajectory with her. But say you don't necessarily have that plan together for the next couple of breeding seasons. So you plug her offspring into whatever other, plan you have for that program, and you shelf her. So she goes on a vacation, she goes on a holiday, and maybe she sits out for the next 2 years while you figure out what to do with her. Then comes along a male that you see a certain particular trait or gene in that male that you really want to try with said female. You can put her back into the breeding lineup even if she is 10, 12 years old. Their prime, a lot of people tend to retire crested gecko in their prime breeding time frame. I've noticed that a lot of people, it said, 2 to 3 years old, you start breeding, they're typically ready. But we found that some females just aren't ready at that point. So you've got a female crested gecko that may not be ready by year 2.5. Maybe she's, she just clearly isn't ready. Maybe she needs to gain 2 or 3 more grams. Or maybe she's just not pairing well with your male. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe she just needs another year to mature.
Hey guys, Flawless Crested Geckos here, Will, Audra, and we're here to tell you about our Patreon.
Yes, going through tough times, you got to know that Flawless is always going to have your back. If you go over to patreon.com/flawlesscrestedgeckos, you'll see all the perks and benefits it is there for you to come and support us on our Patreon. $50 a month turns around and goes right back into your Flawless Crested Geckos savings account for you to use towards your next purchase.
Any purchase. We also give awesome benefits such as 5% off the top of the price of the gecko. We give free merchandise, t-shirts, we have stainless steel tables, tools, yes. All kinds of goodies. We also give free shipping to our members all year round, no blackout dates. And, we give awesome tips, or we think we do anyway.
That's right. So go over to patreon.com/flawlesscrestedgeckos
and join our
mature. So a lot of times we get into this thought process of, okay, they're on year 2, year 3, we need to go ahead and start breeding. They need to start producing quick. And so, because I have to retire them at 7 years or 10 years, and that's just simply not the case. Like I say, crested geckos, their life expectancy is way up there, 20 years or so more. Obviously, we haven't had them in the States for, 30 years or whatever, but their life expectancy is way up there. And they really are not, again, their reproductive systems are not like, their bodies are not set up like humans, not like dogs, not like rats. They're not put in any disadvantage health-wise by breeding them well into their 10 to 15 year range, because they're really in their prime. As long as they're maintaining their health, as long as you're not breeding them to death, meaning for what we call like puppy mills, where you're just breeding for no real reason, and you start to see your female become lethargic, you start to see her lose a lot of weight, you're letting her have calcium crashes and things like that. As long as you're taking care of the health of your animal, as long as she is cooperating, because honestly, some of these females we've seen, they will absolutely tell the male whether they're wanting that or not. They're pretty good at saying, no sir, I don't think so. So a lot of times you can have the best of circumstances with these females. They could be 4, 5, 6 years old and have been a proven breeder. But then you put a male in there, you decided to change, courses with her, you put a male in there and she just doesn't like him. Sometimes that happens. That has happened in the past. We had one pairing one year. I was so excited about it because it was just what I wanted. I wanted this pairing. I thought it would be beautiful. And it was a Yoshi Ash breeding. So Ash was our female lily white, and Yoshi, you guys all know Yoshi is our big high white spot trait male that is a powerhouse breeder. We acquired him from Geckos Geckos, and he's just a beautiful example of a great male. So he is still here, but I really wanted that pairing to work, and she just didn't have him. She just wasn't interested, and he didn't seem very interested either. So I guess the feeling was mutual. But the point of this video is that we've heard it a couple of times. Well, we've heard people talking about retiring their geckos very early on in their life. There really is not a reason to retire them at 7 years. There's not really a reason to retire them at 10 years. They are, again, they're not like humans. They don't have our reproductive systems that humans have. A lot of times I think we put human emotions onto reptiles, and that's just simply not the case. Unfortunately, you cannot humanize a reptile. You can't do it. So I'm putting that out there just because, you know, we care deeply about our animals. We love our animals. We love our collection. We've amassed a plethora of animals here at Flawless. We have ball pythons. We have crested geckos. We have chihuahua. Like, they're all very well taken care of and very well loved, and it's done in a very ethical manner here at Flawless. We believe in ethics. But one thing I think a lot of people are misinformed about is the fact that you don't have to retire them. If you want to retire them, by all means retire them. They don't have to breed for you for 20 years. I mean, that's not what we're saying at all. We've been in business now, 8 years, 9 years, something like that. And some of our females that we had originally are not with us at all anymore. Like, we bred them for 2-3 years, and then we either sold them to pet owners or they went to another breeding program who may or may not continue them breeding. So you just need to keep in mind that all female crested geckos, you know, they are capable of laying and producing eggs and producing, you know, viable hatchlings, and it be done in a healthy manner for close to the entirety of their lives. Again, we don't necessarily do that. Again, you do not have to breed that female every single year. You know, we have multiple females that are taking a vacation this year. They're on holiday. So, and it's just because we may be waiting on a certain particular male that we want to pair with that female that just didn't quite make the cut for a first season breeding. So, and we just decided to hold off till 2025. So it really just depends on your trajectory, your plan. Breed with a purpose. Don't breed with the intent of just making geckos. Because you can get to the point where you are absolutely just breeding that female just to be breeding. And that's not how we function here at Flawless. We have a very well laid out plan as far as how we do our pairings and what we want out of those pairings. And if you've achieved your goal with the female and it's time to maybe move her on to somebody else, or maybe you want to sell her as a pet only animal, you can do that. Or if you just want to keep her in your vault at your facility or your reptile room for another tool in the toolbox to be able to plug her into a different program on down the line, you can do that. She absolutely is capable, and it is capable, and it still be healthy for the gecko. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to inbox us or put it in the comments below. We appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, you know, come visit us on any of the social media platforms. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on TikTok, we are on obviously YouTube, and we have a link tree. We also have Patreon, and we have our website that has most of our availability at this current time. And also remember Morph Market. Morph Market is doing its thing. We're really been very pleased with Morph Market here recently, and excited to see where the future goes. So like, subscribe, and we appreciate you. As always, I am out. Bye.